Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's episode is my March beauty favorites. I have one hair care thing in here. Everything else is makeup. So if you're interested in hearing what I have been loving this past month, then just keep on watching. Hey guys, before we jump into my favorites, I just want to say thank you. We just reached 12,000 subscribers. I am so excited. I'm really floored by the growth that I've seen over the past couple of months. So I can't thank you guys enough for supporting my channel and for watching me. I'm taking time out of your busy lives to just, I don't know, hang out with me and talk about makeup. So thank you so much. I also want to throw out there, if you guys want to weigh in the comment section, I haven't been snapping that much because I really don't like the new update. I just thought, okay, it's new, we're all gonna get used to it, but it's really poorly designed. So I'm thinking about moving over into Insta Stories. What do you guys think about that? I don't personally watch Insta Stories that much because I follow a lot of people on Instagram and that's a lot of stories. I mean, aside from the feed, that's a lot of stories to be watching. But if you guys are into it, I'm gonna just move on over into Insta Stories and see how that goes. But I mean, I love Snap, but man, I think they really let us down with that update. So anyway, let me know down in the comment section. Subscribe before you leave, and let's get into my favorites. I very rarely talk about hair care in my favorites, mainly because I just, you know, my hair is my hair. I don't do that much with it. I get it cut about once a year. Obviously, I don't color it. And it is what it is. I had some struggles when I moved here from New York City because the water is so different, and so I've had to, you know, kind of change up my shampoo or whatever. But I've been using the Magnificent Volume Shampoo from Oribe, and it's been great. I really like it. About a month and a half ago, I think I purchased this the day after Valentine's Day. I don't know why I remember that date. I purchased the SISLEY. I actually purchased a few things from SISLEY, but this is the hair and scalp care. This is the Revitalizing Fortifying Serum for scalp. I was incredibly skeptical about this product because I was like, whatever, I'm sure it just like feels fine or whatever. They put it on in store for me. I actually went for like a little hair, like scalp massage, hair blowout thing at, where was this? At Saks. And this felt so good on my scalp. I like purchased this immediately. I was so excited to use this. And I don't know if you guys have ever had like an Ayurvedic massage where they do like that third eye oil drip thing. If you guys haven't, I promise you, if you do a search for this and you get one, you will just thank me later. Just thank me later. But I've had a bunch of Ayurvedic massages where, you know, they do the full body massage, and then at the end, they do this like head thing where you lean back and they drip oil on your third eye and it rolls down over like your scalp. And after a while, I mean, at first it's like, okay, I have oil dripping down my forehead and into my hair. But after a while, you feel like you've ascended. It is the most incredible thing. Anyway, this isn't exactly like that, but there's something about dripping the dots, and it tells you, you know, where to drop them. You know, 3 dots here, 3 dots on each side, and then massage it in. There's something about that makes me feel so good. It's like, you know, you use this every other day, and I feel like every other day I'm giving myself like this home massage treatment. It is so amazing. So obviously you can do that with any scalp care thing. You don't have to do it with this one. But I have to say, I feel like, I don't know if you guys have noticed a difference in my hair in my videos, last few videos, but my hair looks like pretty good. And again, my hair is not something I think about a lot. I'm just, you know, I wash it, I blow dry it, I'm like done with it. But since I've been using this, and I am no doctor, I'm no dermatologist, I don't know enough about the ingredients in this to tell you whether or not it's actually kind of like activating my scalp, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of new hair growth, which is so interesting because I don't really. My hair has just been slowly getting thinner and thinner like most aging people. And I just feel like it's not like I all of a sudden have like all this body, but my hair and my scalp, it just feels like active. It feels like it's alive again. This is very hard to explain, but I have been loving this. And you're supposed to use it every other day for a month and then downshift to like twice a week. I'm still using it every other day. I kind of can't stop. And I I just love it. I just love it, and I think it's a wonderful thing. If you guys don't want to get the SISLEY one, get like a scalp thing. I think our scalp is very much ignored. I think we focus a lot on our hair, we focus a lot on like our facial skin and all these other things, but we don't really focus on our scalp that much, and I've been loving it. That's all I can say. I've been loving it. Usually I go in order of like how I put products on my face, but I have to talk about eyeshadow palettes. This past month there's been like an explosion of eyeshadow palettes. So I actually have 4 to talk about. I literally have just been kind of like rotating between these 4, and it's almost like every morning I'm like, I don't really care which one I use. It's like, I'll just use a different one today. And I just love every single look I get from all of these. So let me just run through them quickly. NATASHA DENONA Tropic palette. I love it. I just love it. I have to say, it's not like I use this bottom row every day because that's a little bit bright for me, but I love the top 2 rows. Those mattes are amazing, and I've actually been using it a lot in conjunction with this other palette, and this is the VISEART TRYST palette, and that's actually what I have on my eyes today. I have a little bit of this. Whoa. I have a little bit of this, and I have a little bit of the Tropic palette. What I love, because I feel like this color is missing from both of these palettes, is this Xena color, this like lilac color. I want a shimmer shade in this, and I would love it in this palette as well. I feel like it's the one shade that's missing in both, so what I've been doing is mixing the Xena shade with this shade right, there's a reflection, sorry. This one right here in the middle, and the bottom is actually the top. I'm holding it upside down. But this light shade in the middle, I mix the 2 of those to kind of get this really beautiful lilac shimmer shade, and that's actually what I have on the inners of my lids today, and I just love it. And I'm not someone that generally mixes like warm colors with cooler colors, and that purple is obviously a very cool color, but I love using these mattes up here, which is what I did kind of on the outer corner here, and then going in with like a light, bright, cool color. It's just been a lot of fun, and this palette has really been inspirational to me in kind of like mixing tones. I'm just having a really fun time with these palettes, and this one is great. I have this shade kind of all over today. This one, like I said, mixed with the Xena, and I'm actually using this shade over here to line my eyes. So been loving those 2. The other eyeshadow palette I've been using is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam. I keep it in the box because of this velvety texture, and I don't want it to get too scummy. So this palette, I think we've all seen it 1,000 times over. This is kind of turned into my go-to palette if I just want to feel really pretty. I don't know, that probably sounds weird because who doesn't want to feel pretty? But, you know, some days I'm like, oh, I want to try something funky. Some days it's like, I want to look very professional. This is like, I want to look pretty. Like, I want to look feminine and I want to look pretty. Maybe I'm going out to lunch or something. This is the palette that I have been going for when I'm in that mood. And then this last palette, and then we'll move on from eyeshadows. This is the Pat McGrath Platinum Bronze small mothership palette. It is this guy, and this is a great, like, cool toned palette. You can get such beautiful, amazing looks out of this palette, and this is the palette I reach for if I'm feeling just like a little bit more edgy, you know, if I'm maybe like going out at night, or if I'm going out for dinner. Because it's so cool, you get like a much more, at least for me, a much more like dramatic kind of look. I just love it. The quality for all of these shadows, while they're all really different, I have to say, between NATASHA DENONA, VISEART, Anastasia Beverly Hills, and Pat McGrath, the eyeshadows are so different, but they all work really, really well. VISEART and ABH are definitely more powdery. Pat McGrath and NATASHA DENONA are definitely more creamy, but the NATASHA DENONA is like a thicker, creamy kind of shadow, where the Pat McGrath is more of like a smoother, like silky, more slippery kind of a creamy formula. But they all work really, really well. I just absolutely love them. Let me talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. So I did a whole first impressions video on this, and at first I was like, whoa, I looked like the Tin Man. But after it's set and after I put some foundation over it, it is so beautiful. It really gives you a blurred, soft effect look over your skin, and it gives you this wonderful, wonderful glow. I've been putting it before I put foundation on, but just where I want to highlight, not all over my face, and then I'll put foundation on. You'll see that kind of glow peek through, and if you want just a little bit more, you can put it on top of foundation. You can go ahead and use your regular kind of like powder highlighter if you want. It's just great, and I really, really like dewy, radiant skin. I don't like a matte kind of like finish to my skin, and this has been awesome because you're just guaranteed to have like this kind of blurred, radiant effect to your skin. It's just gorgeous. Okay, speaking of highlighters, I've got three. I didn't realize I had three here. Yes, I have three powder highlighters. So I have been really loving the Chantecaille Paillettes highlighter. This is limited edition. It came out over the holidays. I think this is still available. Of course, I'll link it down below if it is. I just love this, and I used this highlighter, I think in my Glowy Skin featuring Glossier Lid Star. I think I used this in that video. Anyway, it has like a gold and a pink, so like a warm and a cool tone highlighter in here, and the finish is just gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. I love what it does to my skin. It is not quite wet looking. It has more of a satin finish, but it is stunning. It is so, so beautiful. I usually end up just mixing the two because the gold by itself is a little too yellow, and then the pink by itself is a little bit too icy, but they're just stunning, and they're even better together. Let me see if I can get a swatch of them together. So that is the two together. So you almost end up with this like champagne-y, peachy color. It is just beautiful. So I've been really, really loving this. I've also been using this a lot. This is the Tom Ford Night Bloom Powder in Soleil Bloom. It's actually what I have on my cheeks today, along with another highlighter, which I'll be mentioning next. But here is the Soleil Bloom. This came out a while ago, and you know, it's just been sort of sitting in my collection, and I kind of just rediscovered it. And I've been using it, and I hope it's still available. I feel like it was limited edition, went away, and then it came back. If it is, of course, I will link it down below. But this is a great kind of like satin finish highlighter. And it has a nice amount of warmth to it. So even though it's a little bit deep, because of the warmth, I think it works really nicely with my skin. So that's what you see kind of like over here is that highlighter. I think what I appreciate a lot about this particular Tom Ford highlighter too is that it's just a regular straight up powder formula. So I don't feel like I have to get out a special brush, or it's like high maintenance or in any way, or I have to build it up or whatever. It's just a very traditional powder. So I'm kind of appreciating that with all the kind of like crazy, interesting textures that are coming out. This has been like a nice reprieve. So loving that. And then the last highlighter I have is, of course, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter. Yes. Now, this is one of those funky textures. It's like a Beige Chalet, but I don't really know. There's absolutely no like kick up. There's like no fallout. It is just amazing. And I think what I love about this particular highlighter is, and now we're getting extra, but I feel like I've been using this to highlight my highlight. So because this has such a sheer finish, it works with so many different skin tones, and it allows your skin to shine through, and it allows basically anything underneath to shine through. So what I've been doing is putting like this Tom Ford Orchid Soleil highlighter down. I'll put that, you know, all along where I would normally highlight, like kind of just right around my eye here. And then what I'll do with the Amrezy is literally just put that right at the super high points of that area, which is like right here. So I am kind of like highlighting my highlight with it, but because it does have this sort of like sheer quality to it, you can do that with like any highlight, and it just works. It's so beautiful. This is such an amazing formula. I hope they come out with other shades in this same formula. I will buy them all. And this is limited edition. I may get a backup of this because this cannot ever go away. So those are the highlights that I've been loving. Let me clean my swatches off. Let's talk about bronzers. So there's two bronzers that I've been loving. this past month. So this bronzer is one of the new ones from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is in the shade Tawny, and I generally like a bronzer that has a little bit more sheen to it, but I purchased these. I wanted to give them a shot, and for some reason it's like I just kept going back to this. I just kept going back to it, and I was like, okay, obviously I really, really like this bronzer. It is very, very pigmented, and it goes on the skin very smoothly. And it has a wonderful tone. There's like a reddish, not orangey, but like a burnt reddish color underneath, like a terracotta. So it looks really, really nice by itself. I feel like bronzers with a lot of red in them, I almost don't need to wear blush that day because it kind of gives me that sunburnt kind of look, and it's just great. I believe Tawny is the lightest shade. I don't think I could go any darker, but I did also purchase Rosewood. I just haven't been reaching for that because I think it's just a little bit, the shade is just a little bit off. And then for the everyday, I have been loving the Chantecaille Compact Soleil Bronzer in St. Bart's. So I had purchased the colorway Capri and showed you guys that, and I said I've been using it as a blush because it's so peachy, and I got so many comments from you guys saying get St. Bart's. St. Bart's is like, you know, your holy grail bronzer or whatever, so I was like, okay. So I picked up St. Bart's, and it is gorgeous. You guys were so right, and that's actually what I have on my skin today. So it's just a very pretty, lovely, neutral, bronzy shade. You can see there, it's a little bit softer than the ADH, and there's a little bit more peach to it than red. And this is also a matte finish bronzer, but the Chantecaille powders are so fine that I feel like they always end up kind of being like a demi matte because they just have such a like smoothness to them that they almost look like they're satin. They're just really, really beautiful. And then the one blush that I have been really, really enjoying is also, I have a lot of Chantecaille in here, is also from Chantecaille. This is one of their philanthropic cheek shades in Joy. I kept it in the box because I love the boxes so much, and it reminds me of the nonprofit that it is supporting. And Joy is supporting One for Horses, which is the American Wild Horse Campaign. And this color is just so pretty. It's on the cooler side, and I guess I've been reaching for it because so many of the eyeshadows that I've been loving are a little bit cooler, and it just seems to work really, really well. Now, these blushes are very pigmented, and it was something I was not prepared for when I first went into it, but it is beautiful. It blends out beautifully. Again, the Chantecaille powders are so finely milled. They're weightless. They're just absolutely gorgeous. But this shade in particular, I just think is so, it's so springy. You know, it's so like flowers are blooming, tulips, roses. It's just very floral. It's like a very floral pink. I just love it. So I've been wearing this an awful lot. My last few things. So speaking of cheeks, I've got the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Glow Stick in Sunstruck. This is so gorgeous. The formula is so amazing. So it has a cheek product on one side. Look at that color. It's like a coral orange color. It's so beautiful. If I've really bronzed up my face, this is gorgeous. This will be perfect for the summer when I don't need to bronze too much. Hopefully I'll get a bit more of a tan this year, but it is beautiful. The formula is wonderful. You can swipe it right onto your cheeks, and as it starts to set down, you can see it's already setting down. As it starts to set down, you can just blend out the edges, and you just get this beautiful flush. And then the other side is this, which is a very either deep highlighter or really reflective bronzer. So on my skin tone, at first I was using it and playing around with it as like a highlighter, but it is actually much too deep for me in terms of highlight. So I've been using it as like a light bronze. I'll just kind of put it on, kind of like on the outer parts of my cheekbones and kind of drag it down underneath. It's also great as eyeshadow. So this is one of those great products that has like multi-use. It is just beautiful. I hope you guys can see how pretty that is. That's the most beautiful sheen. And what I like about these products is they stay relatively blendable and pliable, but they do set down. So you don't feel like it's just sort of sitting on top of your skin and you're just gonna like wipe it away eventually, like a lot of cream products. So I've been loving this. This has just been a really fun product. I really hope he comes out with more colorways, maybe something that's a little bit more like pink, and then with a highlight that's like a little bit lighter and cooler. I think that would be really pretty. All right, last but not least, I've got 2 lipsticks. Can't get enough of these. These are the 2 new lip color sheers from Tom Ford. So it's Nudiste and Bamboo. So here is Bamboo, and here is Nudiste. Bamboo is what I have on my lips today with another lipstick, but because they're sheer, they layer really nicely, and they give any lip color underneath this great metallic sheen. So that's Bamboo, and then here's Nudiste, which, this is the color I've been using to death. I just love it. It is such a pretty everyday shade. It's like peachy, it has a gold shimmer to it. It's just gorgeous. I really, really like shimmery lips. I am not a matte kind of lip person, and so these really speak to me. And I think they're perfect for spring. They're just really, really fresh and fun and lovely, and yeah, love them. All right, is that it? Is that it? I feel like I've been talking for hours. Well, those were my favorites. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down in the comment section what some of your favorites were for this past month or recent. Let me know if you have any questions about anything that I just mentioned. Subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next video.